Sephardic Jews spread out from the Netherlands to the New World. Brazil, the newly establishing trade coast New Amsterdam, now New York, and Curacao and Suriname. The construction and reinforcement of an unequivocal Jewish identity in the 17th century also had a downside, as experienced by the famous Amsterdam-born philosopher Baruch Spinoza. Because of his unconventional ideas, he was excommunicated from the Jewish congregation. In less than a century, Jewish immigrants were a fixture of life in Amsterdam. Their contribution to the city's economy and culture was rewarded with a commission to build two monumental synagogues. The Ashkenazi synagogue for the Jews that fled from Germany and Eastern Europe, and the Portuguese synagogue, built on the initiative of Rabbi Isaac Laboa de Fonseca. The plan of the synagogue was inspired by a possible design of the destroyed Temple of Jerusalem with its enormous buttresses. A great synagogue surrounded by annexes. In 1675, the synagogue was consecrated with great pomp and ceremony. The invited guests entered the world's largest synagogue. The complex with its annexes for the rabbis, the board, the secretariat, the ritual baths was a lively center for the community. Young and old met here to pray and study. In 1616, the school was founded with a small collection of books for each teacher. This grew into the Etz Haim Bible, with many valuable 17th and 18th century books and manuscripts. It is the oldest functioning Jewish library in the world, and it is on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Since the 17th century, the Sephardim have had their own cemetery in Uitleg under Amsterdam, several kilometers outside Amsterdam. Beth Haim, the House of Life, not only houses the Kingdom of the Dead, but is also cherished as a site of historical importance for Portuguese Jewish heritage. The monumental cemetery is still in use today. The impressive synagogues in the heart of Amsterdam define the streetscape of this part of the city. They stood at the center of a lively Jewish world. At the beginning of the 20th century, almost 10% of Amsterdam's population was of Jewish descent. Then a catastrophe struck the Jewish community. On the 10th of May, 1940, German troops invaded the Netherlands. Within barely 3 years, all Jewish citizens were deported. Their buildings, centuries-old centers of Jewish culture, were confiscated by the Nazis. Only a small group of Portuguese Jews were able to hold services in the secret synagogue. Of Amsterdam's approximately 4,300 Portuguese Jews, only 800 returned to live in the city. Four days after the liberation of the Netherlands, the survivors held their first service in the beloved synagogue. The Portuguese Jewish community managed to rebuild itself with superhuman resilience.